Okay, who wants to start things off? Ollie?
At home, yes, because of the goals and the clean sheet. You know, it's an easy one to analyse on that front. But in terms of performance, I think we've been close to that a lot here. And I've then sat here and mulled over a 1-0 defeat because we've played some really good stuff at times here with energy. And we haven't got the last bit, which is the hard bit, the unpredictable bit, the goals that make a performance more and more comfortable. Today we had that. So I think we've reached levels, but today it all came together. The finishing, the energy in the team, the passing, the speed of pass, the getting after the ball and winning it back. And, you know, that's a nice little template. I keep saying, I said it after Liverpool, but there's a lot of work to be done, and it's even better to say that after a good performance because I think we need to keep our feet on the ground. But today we saw some really good stuff.
You had a sort of entire midfield, 3 out, and 7 first-team players out in total. So how encouraging is it therefore that you can do that still?
Yeah, it is, and you'll always need your squad through the year. And we've got a lot of injuries. We started the season with a lot, now we've particularly got a lot. But the only way to try and tackle that is to work and to fight and to play at a high intensity with high energy and to trust in each other. And you know, when Billy's 18 and coming into the team, that's not a problem for me because I see how he trains every day. So I thought the whole attitude and focus of the team felt really strong today after Liverpool, and that's something that I could probably sometimes sit here and I'm searching for why we've played well at home and not scored. I go, there's something missing today. There was pure focus within the group. So maybe the challenges of the injuries today worked out okay. Again, we can't get too far ahead of ourselves, but I thought the application of the team today was spot on.
Frank, you had a strong start to the season, and obviously this season you didn't go too well. Do you feel like the team are getting a second win now?
I'm a bit wary to say that. The last 2 performances would look like that, but I'm also experienced enough to know that we go to Aston Villa away in our next game. They're fighting for their lives. They've got good players. So what we have to do is try and replicate what we show today and to some degree every week. Yeah, we had a really good patch early in the season. Yes, we've struggled for inconsistency this period recently. Who hasn't in this league other than Liverpool? And I think that's something that with our squad and how we are in a slight transitional terms, I think can be not accepted. I don't accept it, but understandable. So we have to work as we work today to show that we can finish with strength and get better and better.
The younger players you're introducing inject some more energy into the squad?
Well, I think it's always been a balance this season, and I think the younger players have injected an energy to the squad and to the club and to the fans. You can see their reactions to Billy Gilmour, for instance, how they react, but you also rely on the energy and the nous of the experienced players. And when you think about Pedro running almost from his own half for the second goal and Williams' input into the game today, I think as a group everybody can bring that energy.
Frank, as Olivier Giroud, we paid the faith you showed in him by keeping him here. You were starting him, now he's starting him. He's coming to some form now, which is critical for the kids that are coming through as well. Really.
Yeah, he is, and when you have a Ollie and you know his attributes in the team, you work around that. And I think what we did today was have Ollie playing well and he's selfless self and he gets his goal and his qualities. And then you must have runners and energy and people that want to get in and around him to make the most out of it and stick balls in the box like we did for his goal. So, yeah, he's playing really well. He's fantastic in the dressing room. Throughout the difficult time in January when nobody was sure where we were going, he was brilliant. I've got complete respect for him for that. And now he's playing really well on the pitch and he's a personality and we need that to the end.
Frank, is that front three all examples of the kids? Because Pedro is not really having opportunities this season. Same for Giroud. They're all out of contract as well at the end of the season. But it seems like the focus is there.
Yeah, and you could also probably talk about Kepa because I know he's not on the experienced or plus 30 kind of line, but at the same time been out of the team, showed character in 2 games where he's come in for 2 clean sheets and made saves and a brave moment at the end of the game today. You can also talk about Ross Barkley, who's had big periods out of the squad at times this year, and Marcus Alonso that are coming in and performing, and that's what we need. That is football. No matter whether you're 4 months from the end of your contract, no matter if you were out of the team for a month, you have to train every day full pelt. You have to be a brilliant teammate, and when you come in, you have to try and contribute. And all those ones I mentioned and you mentioned there, I think they've done that.
Frank, how do you see the race for 4th place now?
Still a long way to go. Still a long way. Because we're waiting, obviously Manchester United play today in a tough game, but they're on great form themselves. I thought their impactful acquisitions in January have given them a nice spring in their step. so they're going to challenge, but so are quite a few teams. I won't have to name them all, but it's still close. And even if it looks like a small cushion as I sit here now, I don't feel that way. I feel like we have to focus on ourselves, get ourselves right, and fight to the end for it.
You have described yourselves as underdogs
Yeah.
in that race, but surely now it's in your hands.
Well, it's in our hands, but I think when I said underdogs, I was looking at it from a big scheme, and I think with quite a few games to go and a lot of points to fight for, I'm still certainly not going to jump in and say we're favourites. I think there's a lot of work to be done, and at times we've had inconsistencies for different reasons this year, and we have to fight against that ourselves and hope we can get enough points. I don't know whether we're underdogs or not, but it certainly doesn't feel to me like we're favourites because there's too far to go.
Okay, we're going to do two more. Hang on, Liam and then Sammy to finish.
Frank, the position Gilmour plays, the position Jorginho plays, there's a responsibility there, isn't there, to set the tone, how you move the ball, how quickly you move the ball. Does that make what he's doing even more impressive? Yeah,
because he's receiving the ball in difficult areas on the pitch where, you know, it's, if you don't move it quickly, firstly you don't get the rhythm of our play and breaks down from you, and secondly if you give it away in those areas it's dangerous. So you need it's a real word there, but you know, you need confidence to do that. Yeah, but balls that works. And Jorginho has it and Billy has it. One of the most pleasing things for me with Billy today was that he showed those balls in the first half, but then when he stepped up and played one of the higher midfield players, instantly took it on board, arriving in their box, playing balls higher up the pitch. So he showed that he can do both, which again is a great thing for me when I'm thinking about how the midfield looks at times.
Right, last one, Sammy.
Frank, on the face of it, today's game, maybe early in the season, you look at it and think that is one possibly where you might slip up. So now you seem to be through that little bit of a rough patch. What does it say about the maturity or the level of maturity of the players after now they've they've come through that rough patch?
I don't think we're there yet. I think I get it, and it would be easy for me to say it after today, but I'd much rather say that midway through May or whatever the last date of their last game is, because to think that we're there and to think that we've got over the issues we might have had even at home here for starters will be to probably be overconfident and think that we're all right. I think we are improving in big degrees. We have to keep working. I see a bigger picture, an even longer run than that, because I think we have a gap upwards which is big with Liverpool in terms of points. But at the minute it feels like we're working in the right direction, but there's so much to do.
Okay, we've got to go. Neil, I've just said no there. I can't say. If I say yes to you, I've got to
Come
say
on,
yes
give
to
him away, and he's been here years. Come on.
Go on then.
With the three absentees at midfield, you had a number 6 and 2 number 8. So we've been told for a long time here we can't play 2 number 8s. It's too attacking. But the balance in midfield today was as good as I've seen it.
Yeah.
You must have been delighted with 2 attacking midfielders and 1 defensive midfielder.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be anyone, but you look at how Man City have played it. You have offensive number 8s who want to work off the ball. So I'm not going to lie and say that I didn't have, not concerns, but you're very aware of when you play players that could easily be number 10s, the pair of them. They have a lot more work to do off the ball. But what I do know is they've got capacity for it. So it was more, can you be focused and use your energy? Maybe not so much all the time to be going in a forward direction, but to use it slightly backwards, and also be aware that you need to protect Billy when the ball's on the other side. And we had those talks, and that's probably one of the most pleasing part of the performance from me, was that they gave us that, but also then when you get the ball, you go, we've got 2 really offensive players, particularly when sometimes you're playing at home and you feel like you're going to have a lot of ball and they can create. So I thought the players in the midfield got that balance themselves on the pitch right.
Okay.
Thanks all. Thank you.
Thank you.